Um, First up tonight is the approval of the agenda. Everyone take a look, no need for, any amendments. I'll take a motion for approval.
Mr. Chair.
And a second.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Everyone's got a copy of the minutes from the regular session, January 7th. If there are any needs for the minutes to those, I'll seek a motion for approval of the 7th regular session and the work session minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes. Second.
All in favor? None opposed. Moving on now to, administrative reports. I've been meeting with some of the, different entities around the county, just talking to them about needs coming up. Obviously with weather and everything, it's been kind of difficult, but it's nice to get out and see everyone. So, any other commissioners have anything to report this evening?
Not.
Okay.
No, sir.
Move on now to the county manager's report, Mr. King.
The one update that I have for you is that the other day was the start of the demolition at the Drexel plant, so that has started and it's going very good. The other thing I was going to bring to your attention is Representative Clampett's office reached out, and we need a list of items that are wish list for this next budget cycle by the 10th of February. So just kind of putting that on your radar. So that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Okay, moving into informal comments by the public. First up, we have Ricardo Ball. Mr. Ball? Good evening. Just so everyone's aware, we've got a lot of people, so we'll be sticking to the kind of 3-minute time limit per speaker tonight.
Thank you.
Sir.
First of all, I would like to thank every commissioner for the great job you do on behalf of the community of Jackson County. My name is Ricardo Bellobol, Executive Director of Unidex, Western North Carolina, a 5013C nonprofit. These are some of our dedicated staff. Our mission is to support the Hispanic population of the western rural counties of North Carolina. Since Hurricane Helene struck, the small bilingual team has been working overtime and has responded promptly to the needs throughout Jackson County. Many of those inundated by floodwaters live in marginal housing in Coloway and Tocasigi. Many lost power, heat, roofs, vehicles, and furniture. Mold and non-functioning heaters have resulted in compromised health. Unidex provides such essentials as water, food, clothing to families who lost income due to the disaster. We provide generators, dehumidifiers, and portable heaters, etc. to the hardest hit neighborhood in Jackson County. We have collaborated with FEMA, local government, area churches, Samaritan Purse, community, and many other nonprofits in this enormous task. Unidex clients are Spanish speaking. Many families with children and the elderly, many of whom feel hesitant to ask for help. But we are also directly helping members of Jackson County homeless population. All are welcome. On weekly basis, we provide help to more than 300 individuals. Unidex WNC have received charitable grants to fund these efforts. Our storage space on Mill Street, Silva, is stocked with material aid that goes directly to our clients and any others who stop by in need during our open hours. But supplies are limited and the need is growing now that the winter cold is upon us. Unidex would like to ask for the direct support of the county commissioners of Jackson County. It will take years, not months, for Jackson County residents to fully recover. Unidex is committed to providing vital services to county residents and hope to coordinate with you for the benefit of all. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Sarah Hirsch. Ms. Hirsch.
Hi, good evening. I'm Sarah, and I live in Silva. I'm also an employee of Ricardo Bello Ball, our amazing executive director who founded Unidex 3 years ago. And since that time, our mission has exploded, and we're just working tirelessly to meet the needs of so many people affected by the hurricane. So that's something I'm extremely proud of. But I also wanted just to get up and briefly ask for your kindness and support in the coming months. As we all know, the administration has changed in Washington, D.C., and one of the declared changes will be mass deportations, including family separations of Latinx folk. I have Latinx family members. I am bilingual, and I have many friends that I care about deeply, families that I know well here. And I am going to ask tonight and in the future for your compassion and understanding at the fear that they are facing as things start to change. And I will be there. We will be there to help and to support families, and I hope you will be too. Thank you.
I think this new administration said families, if they were deported, would be deported together.
Well, that would involve citizens. So like I can think of a family right now I work with that there are 2 children who are citizens. And so it's called a mixed status family. So you can't deport citizens. So think about that for a second.
Well, but I guess if the family wanted to stay together, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just know that they said that families would be deported together. They wouldn't be separated.
Well, it sounds like we might disagree on the politics of the issue, ma'am, but if you think of people who have been here for 10, 20, 30 years, paying their taxes, working hard, why would you want to just deport them for no reason? So I'm just going to ask for your continued understanding, and I'll continue to raise this issue for you. Thank you.
Next up, we have Belia.
That's right.
All right.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name's Dee Billia. I'm a resident of Sapphire. And I'm here tonight to make you aware of a disturbing trend that has been building across the country and has now impacted our library and cashiers. I love libraries in general. As a confused and often depressed teenager, I spent hours in the school library reading about wonderful places in the world. I was taken with music, theater, and arts in general, and spent much time reading about those subjects. I eventually went to a college where my love of arts and literature was nurtured, and apart from my youthful waitressing stints, I spent my entire professional career in the arts. It's been a wonderful gift to me and has provided great joy and meaning. I can't stress how pivotal these hours spent in the library browsing titles of interest meant to me and ultimately impacted many, many people as I turned my passion to supporting and promoting professional theaters, singing in various choirs, working on performing arts boards, and awakening young people to careers in the arts. I ended my career as an executive director of a performing arts center in New Jersey. None of this would have happened without those happy hours spent in the library. People go to the library to learn for enjoyment and to find out more information about things that are impacting their own lives. Sometimes people just need a peaceful place to enjoy an hour or 2 of reading or perhaps a research project. I have a book about weaving on my kitchen table right now, and thanks to the Cashiers Public Library. The ability to enjoy a broad swath of viewpoints is being endangered through a movement to ban books in our local libraries. The staff of the Cashiers Library has been targeted and their jobs threatened. In what appears to be a coordinated effort, people have asked the staff where the child pornography is. The library does not provide pornography to anyone, much less children. Our library director has been harassed by these extremists to take down LGBTQ displays in Pride Month and more. Not only is this material mandated by the State Library Association, but it is important for the public to understand that the library is for everyone, not just one group with objections to what others may find interesting and inspiring. They are threatening the director with losing her position when she is simply following the guidelines. This is a very vocal minority of people who are extreme enough to threaten library staff. It's dangerous and unsettling. Book banning in general is tremendously offensive and reminds us of the image of Nazi bonfires of burning books that many of us have seen in history books. I urge you to remember that our country's Constitution and founding principles are based on freedom. To speak freely and demonstrate peacefully are central to our way of freedom in America. In that concept lies the right to read. Without a wide range of information, how can we be free to create and envision a better future? I ask you to condemn the book banning at our public libraries and issue a statement of support for freedom from censorship disseminated broadly throughout the county. With your imprimatur, we can end this practice by people who are encroaching on the basic mission of libraries to provide a broad range of information and viewpoints to its community without censorship. This is foundational for a free society. Thank you for your time and attention to this very important issue.
Next up, we have John Brown.
Hey, good evening. Yeah, I'm John Brown. I'm actually one of the town of Silva commissioners. I just wanted to come real quick this evening and put something out to you guys as a board of commissioners for the county. There's interest in the community. I don't know if you guys know about possibly having a skate park built somewhere in the county. The town of Silva, we are interested in something like that being built, whether it's in Silva or somewhere near Silva. Another commissioner of the Silva Town Board is here with me, Mary Gelbaugh, and she and I are both interested in helping to possibly get a task force created. And if there's any of you all know of someone who's already kind of spearheading something like that to get this in the works, we'd love to collaborate. Love to collaborate with you guys. And to explore a possible location and explore funding for that. It would take probably some grant applying and things like that to find the funds because they're not cheap. But I am all for getting kids outside, getting them away from the screens. Books are good too. But getting them outside, exercising and doing things outside is something I like to see kids doing more of. So putting that out there on your radar to maybe, if we can collaborate, Silva Town Board and you guys, or if you have someone that is already kind of championing this or looking into it, we'd love to talk with them too. So, kind of putting that on your radar, and would love to keep that discussion going for the future. Thank you.
Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
Hi.
Good evening.
Thank you for listening. Thank you. Okay. So do I have to say that I'm a resident of? Because everyone is saying where they're a resident. No? Okay. Hello, my name is Brooklyn, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I appreciate your time. I am here advocating for the skate park. As you can see, the children are with me for this. I have done everything that was requested of me. I have over 17,000 views on TikTok about the skate park. The Silva Board is quoted in the paper as supporting the skate park. I have communicated with more than 2,000 people on my Facebook, with not one person saying that we should not build. I was actually shocked by that. So the donor is ready to give. Multiple possible locations have already been found. The concerns of injury, graffiti, lawsuits, drugs, monitoring, and ongoing maintenance have been discussed, with not one person saying we should not build. If this is not known, skateboarding is now an Olympic sport. So what these kids are doing, these children of our community, are doing an individual sport. And they're doing that because they're not drawn to team sports. It's just not their personalities. And when they get up to talk to you, I'm sure you'll see. But they are athletes. They're not team athletes, they're individual athletes. And what they're requesting is that they be seen as that they be seen as members of the community who are asking for a place where they can go do their basketball. They're fully aware that it is expensive, and they're honored to have a donor already waiting to hand over the money to whomever will build it. I've also spoken to members of the community who want to give land, 11 or 12 acres. So it's really up to you guys to say yes. And they know that, and I know that. But we're willing to do what is required of that. And if the answer is no, we accept that as well. I had written a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm gonna email that to you and you can read it at that point. I just wanted you to really focus. What my point of me being here is so that they can feel comfortable coming to something like this. Like, how cool is that? Those are high schoolers, man. Like, I could have never done this. I couldn't have done it. And it's that they already know that the answer might be no, and they're ready to accept that as well. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Next up in the pen kind of is little Mr. Shields or Miss Shields.
Yes, sir.
What's your first name?
Blaze.
Blaze. Okay.
Thank you guys for hearing me out this evening. I've also come to talk about the skate park. I would like to start out with saying that I think providing a safe place for skaters and so would be a much needed service for not only the youth but just the people of Silva. It would help keep a lot of people out of trouble and give them something constructive to do with their time. We've seen the success in towns like Cherokee and Waynesville and Franklin with their skate parks and how that's provided a service for their community. And I think the town of Silva would greatly benefit from having a skate park of its own. I think if we built a skate park in town, it would help bring not only help with providing a safe space, but it would help provide a attraction for tourism. It would also keep kids like me or other people from skating in places of business or people's businesses. Because I know in the past couple of years I've been skating downtown. I've been told not to skate in certain spaces, and I think if there was a designated spot, we wouldn't be in other people's way. Skateboarding is often seen in a bad light because of its roots and anti-pop culture and how it was started. But in the recent years, it has been proven to be a healthy means of exercise for people who don't necessarily want to participate in team sports, like me and my friends here, or just conventional sports in general. I started a skate club at Smoky Mountain High School my freshman year. I'm now a senior, in hopes to get more people into the sport. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people who don't necessarily want to be in the normal sports like football, baseball, basketball, and those sort of things often come looking for something to do that still allows them to be physically active, but in their own way. Skateboarding is much more than just riding a piece of wood around, and it's a way to express oneself both physically and mentally. A lot of people that get into skateboarding come from an underrepresented part of our community where they often don't get their voices out. And I think that skateboarding and having a skate park and having it readily available in the town of Silva would give them a chance to turn away from becoming more of a problem and an issue for the town of Silva and give them something to actually do with their time and be constructive with it. I started skateboarding coming out of quarantine going into high school my freshman year. because there wasn't much to do in town. It was either that or go hang out with people that were getting in trouble and causing a scene and just being a nuisance in town. And now some of those people have records and they have things that they can't do. They just have that on their record now permanently because as a dumb kid there wasn't anything to do in the town, so they got bored. They went and found other things to do, which ended up causing them to get in trouble. I went and I started skating. It helped me out. If you look at if you were to find my file at the high school, you'd see that I have ADHD, I have ADD, I have a 504 plan, and I feel like that having the ability to express myself through skateboarding has helped me kind of control that and become just a better student in general. My freshman year, I struggled. I was getting suspended a lot, getting sent home a lot, getting a lot of calls home. Wasn't doing too good. And then as I slowly got away from the kids that weren't doing too good and were choosing to not do something constructive with their time, and I started putting my energy more into something constructive, it helped me straighten my life out. And now I'm able to do things like be on the hunter safety shooting team at Smoky Mountain High School, as well as participate in FFA and those sort of things. Thank you, guys.
Henry Walker?
Hi, my name's Henry Walker. Thank you for taking your time to speak with us. I'm part of the skate community at the high school. I think that the skate park would help a lot of people just from any age, from little kids up to even probably people like 40 or 50 who want to get into skateboarding and need a safe place. I'm from Florida. I was homeschooled and I came up here with knowing no one. I was out of quarantine. I knew no one. I started skateboarding and then I met some of the people here. And out of that, I used that to learn how to do school, how to provide in school, how to provide in the community. Skateboarding has helped me learn how to do a lot of stuff in life. It's helped me get physically active. After being homeschooled, I was always at home. I'm now out in the community every day, doing anything from skateboarding to helping out as much as I can. I'm also ADHD, severely ADHD, and it's a good way to release all that. I've had trouble focusing in school, but with skateboarding and going around town, find places that I can skateboard, it's helped calm that down, make it so I can work better with it, work better in school, work better with my friends. I'm a part of an entire community now, and next year I'll be, I think, head of the skate community for the high school, the skate club. But it's really helped me get out of a lot of trouble, get me on the right track, and help me going one right direction. Skate park will keep us in a safe space so that we don't get told to leave places and all that. We have one spot to go. That way we can stay out of everyone's way, have our own little area, focus on building as a community. Thank you.
Thank you. Isaiah? How do you say your last name?
Baron DePasquale. Okay. Thank you for being with us today. I still have ADHD, and it is hard for school, and skating has helped. It has kept me calm and had me focus to be able to do what I want to do for fun. And I think having the park would be beneficial for us in any age, especially for younger kids that want to learn, because most parents are not going to go to a different county to let them go and try it. So yeah, thank you for your time.
Johnny Smith.
Hello, I'm Johnny Smith. I'm a freshman at Smoky Mountain High School. I was born and raised here, and I just kind of want to talk about some of the ways that skating's helped me. I know that I had a lot of fear when I first started, but then it was actually, I believe, Henry and Blaze. My first time, going down. But I think we were in Cherokee. It just went away. It was like it was never there. Since then, I've been more daring, of course, in an appropriate manner.
Is your mom here?
Is my mother here?
Yeah.
She's not here today.
Okay. Make sure.
Sorry.
More daring in an appropriate with helmet and wrist guards, elbow guards, knee pads.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah, we like to promote safety, of course. I believe having a safer environment leads to a lot less injuries. I know that when used in an unconventional space, like if people try to skate on a sidewalk, there's risk of cars or there's risk of accident hitting someone. And I know that a safe space that's separate from each other will definitely decrease the odds. And that's about it, I'd like to say.
Awesome. Thank you, Johnny. And then Ernesto Dominguez.
Hello, board. My name is Ernesto Dominguez. I am a junior at Smoky Mountain High School, and I'd like to bring the issue of a skate park to you. In all my time, in all the places I've been, from Japan to England and even Mexico, skateboarding has always been a thing that brings people together. Be it just skateboarding has been a symbol of personality and freedom to express oneself. And we just want to have a place to express ourselves. And of course, graffiti, things like that, that comes with expression. Of course, that's not appropriate. But we all just want a space. It doesn't just help, it doesn't just bring issues. It also brings help to teenagers, and not just teenagers, to children and adults to help oneself's mental health. I know that Blaze here introduced me to skateboarding, and Henry here gave me a board to practice on. And through them, I have been able to become more active, and I've just been able to do things like this, talk, and just be more in a healthier space of mind. Of course, it won't just magically heal me, but it's helped. And of course, you can look and find hundreds of stories just like mine, where you can find people who have been in dark spaces in their lives, where they can find freedom to talk to others, and find something new to do, and skating. And of course, we just want to hope for a skate park, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'd like to say thank you all for coming up. It takes a lot for 5 high schoolers to come to a Board of Commissioners meeting and talk, and it's intimidating, even though it shouldn't be, but it is. So great job.
I was just going to say, if none of your parents are here, they should have been.
Very proud. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Moved on now to our consent agenda. And if you guys, this is the boring part, just so y'all know. I don't want y'all to be, not to Darlene, but thank you. Thank you. Moving on now to our finance report for December, and Ms. Fox.
Good afternoon. Go over the highlights for the month of December. The general fund revenues collected to date is $51,675,777. That's 51.59% of budget. So it's about 1.59% above average. The expenditures to date, $48,634,444. That's 49.96% of budget. So it's right on target. The revenues at that point is $3,041,333 more than the expenses. The ad valorem taxes collected is at 81.73% of budget, $37,013,893. The motor vehicle tax, $874,007. It's 41.96% of budget. And the prior year taxes, $187,636. That's 37.52% of budget. The sales tax for December was $1,858,211. That represents September sales. That amount was $105,544, or 6.02% more than the amount received in December of 2023. The Article 46 distribution was $209,938. The average increase for the fiscal year is 1.62%. The landfill disposal fees, $2,398,028, the 75.11% of budget, and the prior year landfill disposal fees, $29,037. That's 36.3%. The growth revenues at the end of December, the code enforcement is 11.51% above that percentage for the year, and the register of deeds is 4.51% above the average. The general fund contingency at the end of December was $893,156.10. I'd be glad to answer any questions on the report.
Questions from the board? If not, we'll move on to our project ordinance amendment and budget ordinance amendments.
Have one amendment tonight. It's for $114,398.15. Had insurance settlements of $29,996.15. We had a donation for lien relief of $2,500. Had two DHHS revenues, one for COVID-19 vaccine, $7,885, and Helene relief, $66,627. And then we had a grant from Nantahala Health Foundation for the Aging Department for Fresh Produce Program, $7,390.
Questions from the board?
What does the Helene relief money go toward?
That,
Or who, or how does it get distributed?
it goes to the Department of Social Services. It will be for essential services for child welfare, rental assistance, and essential services for adult services. Thank you.
Ms. Fox. Moving on now to Ms. Henson and the tax collector and refund reports.
Good evening. So for the month of December, the current taxes collected were $9,985,211. The delinquent taxes collected were $52,747. The total collected for the month was $10,515,898.08. There were refunds of $11,740 and releases of $491.99. Any questions? Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as it stands?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Moving on now to new business and the budget calendar, and Ms. Fox.
Okay, this is the budget calendar that I presented at the prior meeting, and I just needed to make sure the dates are fine with all the board members and ask for your approval.
Is there a motion to approve the budget calendar?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Bryson,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Jennings,
Yes.
Chairman Letson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on now to the Aquatic Center staffing and Mr. King.
I did not put a handout in your packet, but this is the same process we did last time with what we want to do is take some from the part-time budget and put in 5 permanent full-time positions. Their money is already in the budget, so there's no reason for a budget amendment or anything like that. This is just kind of shifting, going from, I think originally it was 45 part-time positions to around 30, and then making 5 FTEs full-time. So basically that's a shift.
Is there a motion to make that approval? shifting.
That doesn't affect the dollar amount either
No.
way. Yeah, that's what
I've got something to say about that. I'm all for it. However, as you know, I've been advocating for building department cashiers to get more help full-time. To me, that's more important keeping the county going than the pool is, in my opinion. I'm not saying the pool's not important, and I'm for it, just so we're clear on that. But I think we need to do something to get them a full-time help up there while they can. To me, it's more important, and I just had to say that. So
I think it'll be part of the upcoming budget discussion.
Yeah, the only reason this one is a little bit easier because the funding's already there. The other position would require a budget amendment coming from somewhere. So that's the only reason that we need to look at that.
That'll definitely be something that comes up in budgeting, in February. We'll go through all of that and hopefully we can make those amendments. Cause they do. And with Tiffany being as involved with the rollout of the new stuff,
Software.
it's evident. that-
She's a great employee, and she's screaming for help. We've
Yeah.
got to get her some help. So, and it's hard to find anybody wanting to do it part-time, and if you do, you can't keep them.
Is that the cashier's rec?
Yeah.
Not rec, planning.
Planning or code.
Planning department.
Code enforcement.
Oh, code enforcement, okay.
Well, for the aquatic center, is there a motion to approve the adjustment in staffing?
I make a motion.
A second?
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Jennings,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Bryson,
Yes.
Commissioner Hooper,
Yes.
Chairman Letson.
Yes. And moving right into planning topics.
So, John had approached me about talking, Commissioner Smith mentioned that we need to look at, planning topics. And I guess kind of open that up for basic discussion, giving the planning board specific topics to maybe come back with specific legislation where y'all could enact it or at least study it.
Right. One of the things specifically that I talked to a couple of members of the planning board was that there seems to be a lot of dilapidated, equipment and trashed mobile homes that's just pulled and abandoned, and it looks a mess. I mean, you drive up Skyland, it's a mess, and that's who's always calling me. And I've seen it up towards Cashers too.
Yeah.
There's equipment, bulldozers. It's just on the side of the road. They got through with the job, and it wasn't worth taking with them, so they just left it there. We need something to keep that kind of stuff cleaned up.
Well, and it's not just those two areas. I mean,
No,
you go
it's-
around especially with transfers and ownership. Sometimes it's not really something that they, maybe a relative passed and they haven't come by to pick it up. Ownership's changed and they just don't.
They don't want it.
They don't
just
want
leave
it, so they just leave it. It's definitely something we can address and have Michael post and kind of come back with some what we can and can't do's legally.
I think the feeling I got from talking to them, they wanted us to say, hey, you guys need to look at this and see what the county can do. Because I know
Yeah.
most of those regulations lie with the state and stuff. So they just want kind of a letter of direction for them to look and send it to the planning board.
I agree. I mean, I don't like
Posting.
looking at, other people's junk either, and they may think I have some junk, but, on the same hand, I'm a little leery of putting out regulations because we're regulated to death the way it is in the county. I mean, they love regulations.
I think it's more we need to know what we can put into the UDO and what we can't, and if we can, say put a timestamp on something that's been abandoned. We ran into this at.
I can get some of those orange stickers.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that. Like for instance, last year there was a structure that the county owned
Mhm.
that was beside the library, and we purchased that property because it had just been left in disarray.
Yeah.
It wasn't safe, and we wound up purchasing it mainly for the land and to control that little area, but mainly to tear down the building that was there that had been turned into a drug house. You know, things like that are where we're kind of going. Not necessarily going into somebody's house or somebody's yard and saying you need to clean up that old lawnmower. You need to,
Right.
It's just some of the abandoned things that need to be addressed.
I've had people call me, complaining that, something they've abandoned, whether it be partially burned or something else, is taking their property value down because it's beside their property. There's different things. Now, I don't necessarily agree on telling people what they can and can't do on their own property, but
Well, that's where it's like there's kind of a thin line there. And I mean, I agree. I don't really like looking at it either. It'd be nice to look at everything to be beautiful.
Yeah, when it comes to,
But it's a thin line.
being dangerous, like some of the stuff John's talking about, Commissioner Smith.
Well, it's already in DOT right of way.
Yeah, right.
And it's already becoming a problem.
When you get into equipment abandoned, even if it's not right on the road, then you get into potential. I mean, if it's full of diesel, you have fluids and oils and stuff. If it rusts and gets into the ground, then that's potential federal EPA type thing that we need to.
My question is, who's going to enforce it?
Well,
We've got places where property owners are dumping trash left and right. Of course, I think maybe some of them's been cleaned up since I think I might have told Don Adams about a few of them.
Well, they just need to
But
be
who's-
given tickets if they're dumping trash at certain areas. I mean, put a game camera up.
So we've already got regulation on illegal dump sites, so that's already governed.
My point is,
Who's
I mean,
enforcing it?
who's enforcing
Yeah,
that?
'cause
I mean,
there's
because it's being done all over the county.
several places on up Skyland that.
Yeah.
there's trash
If you have
cans
specific
somewhere.
places, let me know. We do have a person that's all they do.
Okay.
So it's a part-time position.
And
that
do they see it out till it's cleaned up?
Yeah, we alert the state, so the state has regulatory oversight of that out of the Asheville office, Diener. So we work with them to get it cleaned up, and we issue citations and letters to the landowner saying, that you got to get it cleaned up with a certain amount of time, and if not, then the state gets involved.
So what is the regulations on somebody just dumping trash on their own property? I mean, is there fines or is there, what's too much?
It can lead to that. I mean, there's just a certain when you look at it like an illegal dump site, it's pretty much a lot of trash. It's not like a couple bags or anything like that. It's more, well, this is making your own landfill on your property, which is illegal. You can't do that. So you got to go through that. What a reasonable person would think a dump site would look like. It won't be one bag of trash sitting there. It's going to be, refrigerators or anything else just making a dump site out of it.
Up here on
I know what you're
Thornton
talking
Hill.
about.
That's the
You can see it from the
biggest.
four
You can
lane.
see it. Is it still there? I
Yeah,
don't
oh,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's still.
And you may, if you don't care, check on that because I brought that up to Don.
Does anybody live down
I
there?
might have brought that up to maybe Don. I'm not sure. No, that's another abandoned place, but I don't know who owns it. But that community, they were concerned about.
If you give me the specific location, we'll give it to
The
Kansas.
county's not immune to it. We talked about this before, that mobile home that's on Chipper Curve that is county property that needs to come down. It's a danger. It could be a drug.
Well, and we had an issue. This may be before you came in, Kevin. I can't remember. There was a guy who was fixing cars and created his own junkyard, and
Oh, yeah.
we wound up
Ford
having,
Whittier?
yeah,
Yeah.
we wound up having to do some stuff, legally on
That
his.
was just right outside of Cherokee. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was right outside Cherokee. But we wound up
On 441.
doing some things there because that was an illegal junkyard. He just kept piling them up, and
You got approval for two or
Like
three
three.
cars.
Like I say,
And there was like 30.
I mean, you pay for your property. It's your property. You'll do everything. I'll do what I want on my property, but
I
there
feel that
comes a
way,
time
too.
when it gets to be ridiculous. And
I'm for property rights. I mean, I agree that people shouldn't junk things up, but what's junk to them may not be junk to me.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, there's a thin line. When you start giving government control.
I would be more inclined to look at the, you know, the structures that John has talked about since he was elected. Not just those structures, but others, people that's called me about, you know, abandoned sites.
Abandoned sites are
that have,
more, I
like I
think,
say,
where we need
burned or rotten down, that have become to, you know, being dangerous. You know, if a child got in one of them or something, that would be more the route I would.
Or if you're causing a
want to take.
ecological problem.
Yeah.
That's more my thought. I think we could talk to Michael and get some of those brought.
Okay.
At least know what we can and can't do, and then how we can write it in.
Maybe even take a look at the UDO and see if there's anything in there that
There's a few things that
overbearing that we can
remove for sure.
Yeah.
Or ways that, you know, just letting people know how they can keep their trash or treasure, and, you know, it's not offensive to others. I know there's some screening requirements in there for certain types of businesses and homes if you want to do that. So.
Yeah, I've talked to several contractors too, and they talk about all the guidelines. I guess Michael knows some of that, but about, you know, having so many houses, and you have to pave, and once you get to a certain amount of houses, and curb it and all this stuff.
Yeah, those go into subdivision ordinances, and that's a lot. It's regulated more by fire and EMS.
Right. Got to be, you know, wide enough.
Yeah. A road that can handle that kind of.
We want to make it easier to build here, not harder.
Oh,
exactly.
To a certain
More
extent,
accommodating.
Yeah, more accommodating, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it was late last summer, Monteith Branch off of Skyland, there was a house on fire up on the hill, and the only way to get there is right before you get to the 74 underpass. You have to turn, go up, but then it's a switchback to go back out there where the fire truck couldn't get down there. They pretty much just sit there and watched it burn to the ground. I mean, what do you do? If you can't get the fire truck down there, I mean, I think they got one of their smaller ones down there, but still, and then they ran lines to try to keep full
I
water.
mean, to me, that's just an exception. You can't regulate everything.
Anything new is going to have. That's not going to happen now.
Yeah,
Right, it's not gonna happen now, but still, you know, that's just the kind of situations, if we didn't regulate those kind of things, that's more of those situations would pop up.
Sure.
So I'll have a conversation with Michael, and we'll come back with it at a work session, and we'll craft, you know, specifically what we want them to study. Go from there.
I just don't know how far we can go. I mean, as
Well,
far
I
as
don't wanna overly restrict,
No.
you know, people,
I don't know.
but
Because, you know, where I was raised, we had a house there that was, I mean, closed up, and it was, you know, a family house that wasn't here. I mean, it was empty for years, and just here recently we had it burnt. But I couldn't imagine the county coming in and telling us, or telling some of my family to tear that down or burn that down, because that's sentimental. So,
Exactly. Well, see, that's what you
yeah.
get into.
So,
Any questions from the press tonight? Okay. With that, we do have a need for closed session. Is it real estate?
Yeah, real estate.
For real estate and legal. So is there a motion to go into closed session tonight?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Closed session, there was no action taken. With no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. We are adjourned.